While residents in Port Moresby welcomed 2016 with excitement and hopes for a better life, it was disaster for a public servant who crashed another government vehicle just after midnight. An EMTV crew, together with the police dog unit, arrived at the scene at Gordon's shortly after the accident. Tekla Gunga reports.
The first police officers at the scene estimated that the incident had occurred just after midnight. The public servant, believed to be under the influence of liquor, was traveling towards Erima from Gordon's when he crashed his vehicle onto the plants in the middle aisle. When MTV News arrived at the scene about 20 minutes after the accident, traffic officers were fixing the back tires, which had come off. The vehicle was later towed to the Boroko Traffic Office. Apart from the normal operations, the dog unit conducted special operations, including footbeat patrols and random checks on vehicles. Police also conducted random searches on individuals suspected to be consuming alcohol. The unit patrolled Garau, Waigani, Morata, and the Hohola residential areas. While patrolling the 5-mile area, the unit arrived in time to prevent what could have been a car theft. The unit then chased the suspect into the 5-mile settlement area, both on foot and on vehicles. The suspect got away, but the crime was prevented. As of 2 this morning, there were no major crimes reported to the dog unit. Tekla Gunga, National, MTV News.
Now back to our earlier story. New Year celebrations in Port Moresby were mostly peaceful with no major crimes reported. Police beefed up manpower to over 400 sector personnel patrolling the city last night and conducting roadblocks along sections of the road. Eric Haurupma with this report.
Yes, we have recorded, people drinking in moving motor vehicles. They drink and then they disturb other residents. We have complaints and police have arrested some of them and charged them, and some of them were found to be noisy, to be so drunk. They were brought to the cells and locked up and released the next day, just to get them off the street.
All police units and sector patrols in Port Moresby have conducted a massive New Year operations yesterday. The security was beefed up with the addition of a mobile unit and police personnel conducting a number of roadblocks and patrols. At 8 p.m. through the night into the new year, a media team together with the police escort patrolled the city, conducted thorough checks on vehicles to validate their registration and driver's licenses. Everywhere in the city, sounds of siren wailing with neon lights and vehicle horns as policemen went to work confiscating liquor and arresting motorists under the influence of alcohol.
Coming to the operations, trade goes to the people, so far so good. We're just waiting for the clock to strike 12. And after this, you all stay, don't go to bed until you see the attitude of all these our men, our people they come out crazy at 5, 4 o'clock in the morning, getting mad, pulling, but we hope they don't come. You see the numbers here? They will be everywhere now around each suburb, so it should be okay.
The media envoy completed the last patrols at Geru, then proceeded to Lamana Hotel to witness the fireworks display to welcome the new year.
We aim to close on the 4th of January. Tomorrow we'll continue and slowly we'll wind down to 4th and then that's it. Monday morning back to normal, especially stations. We will continue on normal operations. All our sister units from Bomana headquarters will go back towards the office of them so the work starts.
Eric Haurupma, National, MTV News.
A vehicle believed to be traveling at high speed along the freeway at Hohola in Port Moresby overturned in the early hours of this morning. MTV arrived at the scene when the vehicle was being towed away by traffic police. No casualties were reported. A road accident in Leh on Boxing Day left one dead and another with serious injuries in hospital. Tulay and Metropolitan Superintendent Anthony Wagambi Jr. says police New Year operations were successful. Leh has had a history of New Year's nights that ended with deaths. houses being burnt down and clashes. The beginning of 2016 wasn't as violent as previous years. Bethany Harriman and our MTV Lay crew followed the police operations last night.
In Lay last night, police were on high alert. During the week, a team planned New Year's night operation. Last night, it was executed. MTV followed the police movement. It gave a glimpse into how difficult police work can be during these peak periods of celebrations. Chief Superintendent Anthony Wagambi Jr. and officer assisting the Lay Metropolitan Command, Fred Kaiwa, were out last night monitoring hotspots. In West Taraka, around 2 a.m., tires were burnt on the main road, while the Bumbu Bridge was blocked off. The residential areas were quiet. The back road area was the same. Minor disturbances by youths and firecrackers, and the occasional burning of tires. In the Miles area, the Lay police boss and his men removed a roadblock on the national highway at 6 Mile. Again, the burning of tires. Lay Metropolitan Superintendent Wagambi Jr. acknowledges the efforts of policemen and women who patrolled the boundaries of Lay till dawn, ensuring a peaceful turn of 2016. Chief Inspector Fred Kaiwa says despite the firecrackers and the burning of tires on the roads, New Year's night in Lay was peaceful compared to the last 15 years. Bethany Harriman, National MTV News, Lay.
Lay's Angau Hospital has recorded 5 babies born in the first hours of 2016. Angau's labour ward continues to have a chronic problem of limited beds. Despite this challenge, mothers who have delivered this morning were happy to share their new bundles of joy.
Between 12 and 3 a.m. today, 5 babies were born at Lay's Angau Hospital. These newborn babies have brought some significance to the lives of these happy mothers, being the first lot to arrive in the first day of the year 2016. Mina Justins was one among the first lot of babies from Angau's labour ward arriving in 2016 at 1:10 this morning.
First and last again.
This ward at Lay's Referral Hospital over the years has experienced a shortage of bed spaces during peak periods where many mothers have come here to deliver. Molly shared her new bundle of joy being the first baby arriving in 2016 at this labour ward at 11:12 a.m. But like many others, this young mother had to sleep on the floor right after the birth of her newborn child. Staff here do the best they can to take care of these labouring mothers' needs, including the health of these infants. Colin Barilai, National MTV News, Lay.
You're watching National MTV News. Among stories after the break, 3 policemen arrested and calls for a Human Rights Commission to be established. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. 3 policemen were arrested and detained at Boroko Police Station following a series of offences. 2 were arrested for sexual assault and rape, while the 3rd on an account of habitual offence. This was confirmed by NCD Central Commander, Chief Superintendent Sylvester Kalaut, in a recent news conference.
Kalaut expressed disappointment in the conduct of the 3 policemen. He said the fault lies in the front line of the police force, especially those responsible for the recruitment of police officers.
HR, so open gate, they're the gatekeepers. You open the gate so wide, you bring pigs and dogs inside. And then they cause problem inside.
2 of the policemen were charged with sexual assault and rape of 2 female victims in the pretext of carrying out standard police procedures.
Policemen only no carry up. All policemen should be hung only in Tamro. Aste or arrested or rape. Many can stop the selling on MPCM Gamon or Karan going to be inside.
The 3rd, according to Kalaut, was a habitual offender. This time he was detained for impounding a civilian's vehicle for no apparent reason and crashing it. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill said the government would introduce legislation to target and combat ill discipline by policemen and women. He said PNG needs to restore discipline and honour in the constabulary. Melissa Goviro, National MTV News.
The woman who was forced to eat condoms by suspected policemen has not come forward to lay a complaint. Chief Superintendent Sylvester Kalaut said an official complaint is yet to be registered with police. Since the incident, police have only been speaking to her relatives.
It has been 2 weeks since the video went viral on social media, but because there was no official complaint lodged, police have not started formal investigations. In an interview with NCD and Central Divisional Commander Sylvester Kalaut last night, the female victim has not responded to requests by Police Commissioner Gary Baki to come forward.
From police record so far, we are yet to register a complaint, official complaint from the victim or on her behalf by her relatives. All right, since that incident has happened, we have established contacts with a relative and they have promised us that they will arrange for the victim to be brought from the village back into the city.
In the video uploaded to social media a fortnight ago shows the female victim in a red round-neck t-shirt with the printing American collar on her left chest, swallowing 3 condoms. The voice of the police officer forcing her to do so can also be heard. Commissioner Kalaut said the video has created a bad image on the constabulary. He appealed to the victim and her family to come forward to police.
And my office is here, the Metsup is here. We will assist by all means to make sure that this case is properly dealt with and the perpetrator is dealt with and brought before the court of law.
Thakla Gunga, National MTV News.
A human rights advocate has called on the government to set up a human rights commission in the nation. Matilda Pilacapio said current human rights abuses have highlighted the urgent need for a human rights commission. Luisa Frank reports.
Matilda Pilacapio, an environment and human rights advocate, is calling on the government to have a human rights commission in place. She said PNG has been politically independent for 40 years. However, to date, the country has no human rights commission. Pilacapio says the country is especially in need of a human rights commission because Papua New Guineans' rights are being denied at the grassroots level by those in higher places.
And I call on the police to be more human in the way they treat our people. And I'll also call on the police commissioner to discipline the word I use, to discipline his men if he sees them going out of hand, because it is quite inhuman and not very good.
Matilda says the first step towards establishing a human rights commission is for the government to pass a bill of human rights laws to be included in the PNG constitution.
To advocate for the policies of Papua New Guinea. And especially now, I'm calling on the government to set up a human rights commission, ASAP. Come 40 years and we haven't got a human rights commission in place. Therefore, I am calling on the relevant bodies like the Attorney General, the Law Reform Commission, and all relevant legal bodies to come together to brainstorm and call us NGOs, the government, the private sector, to a roundtable conference, a forum, and let's come about with policies that need to be taken in as part of legislation.
On the eve of New Year, Pilacapio acknowledged the government for all they have done and challenged them to take these year's challenges as a stepping stone for next year. Luisa Frank, National MTV News.
Deputy Secretary of the Department of Prime Minister and NEC, Trevor Meari, has explained the government aircraft's landing in Bougainville last week. Mr. Meari said he was accompanied by Department of Works officials to inspect progress of road projects in Buka and Arawa. Fabian Hakalitz reports.
So far this year,
speaking to MTV News, Mr. Meari explained that there was no secret deal relating to this visit on the Kumul aircraft that landed at Aropa Airport December 26. However, Mr. Mayari clarified that he traveled with the Works Department engineers basically to assess infrastructure projects in Central and South Bougainville as part of the national government's commitment.
We were not there to sign some secret road deals. We were not there to hold secret discussions with the Panguna landowners over the opening of the Panguna mine. That's a matter for ABG government to worry about. It's all about creating that access to the people of Bougainville, particularly in the central and south of Bougainville. And that's something that the people of Bougainville have suffered over the many years after the crisis. So national government still remains committed to improving all those infrastructures.
The trip to Kiete during the shutdown period was to assess progress on road projects.
And so far, Dekanai is mobilizing itself. We've asked them to build a base camp to start mobilizing the machines and getting the local contractors to start fixing the edges of the road so that that should clear the way for them to commence the construction of the road. And that's a commitment from the national government to the autonomous Bougainville government, and we are not going to deviate from it. The national government will not deviate. It's a commitment.
Projects in other provinces under the national government's commitment are also inspected to ensure it's successfully delivered.
This is a real commitment by the government. And as the Deputy Secretary of the department, my job is basically to ensure that all these commitments of government, the road projects, all infrastructure projects are properly monitored, inspected, and the contractors are on track to complete those projects.
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
With many provinces passing their 2016 budgets, newly elected Hela Governor Francis Potape says Hela doesn't have one. He said the Agiru-led government has not put forward any budget for the Assembly to cite and pass for 2016. He added that Hela has no budget and provincial plans for the next 5 years.
Money has been spent without that plan. We are asking our brother to respect us, work with us, and give us time to now work with the public servants to prepare the budget for next year.
You're watching National EMTV News. More local news after the break, as well as celebrations abroad to mark the new year. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says the opening of Papua New Guinea's trade office in Taipei complements the Taiwan trade mission, which is an important source of trade and investment. With Taiwan a leading economy in agriculture, Mr. O'Neill said through this relationship, technical assistance will be facilitated to improve agriculture and fisheries, as well as developing Taiwan as a growing market for LNG. The Prime Minister said there is potential to explore new areas of economic cooperation and to enhance micro and small to medium entrepreneurship. The Autonomous Bougainville Government Finance and Treasury Minister Albert Punghao says the overall focus of 2016 for the ABG budget consolidates the Bougainville peace process through economic and infrastructure development. Mr. Punghao says this year's budget is based on priorities that will prepare Bougainville for referendum.
Mr. Punghao says infrastructure development consolidates efforts on peace building throughout the autonomous region of Bougainville. The ABG budget also looks at economic development, peace and security, and human development. Substantial funding is allocated towards road sealing projects, feeder roads, and stripping for remote areas of Bougainville and the atolls, rural electrification, water and sanitation. Drawdown of powers and awareness on the Bougainville Peace Agreement is also featured. Mr. Punghao says the national government will continue to provide grant funding for salaries, ABG ministers and members of the Bougainville House of Representatives through a new grant type, ABG Parliamentary Services Allowances, with funding totaling 9 million kina. ABG's other key target projects will also be implemented this year. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Several locals in the autonomous region of Bougainville have called on Bank South Pacific to ensure there is enough cash available at all automatic teller machines. In Buka, ATMs at various locations were closed due to no cash, which left customers frustrated. They have called on BSP to ensure enough cash is available at this time of the year, especially when families travel from other centers in PNG as well as overseas to spend the festivities with their loved ones. MTV was unable to get a response from BSP Buka. The restoration of water supply to the Laloki Psychiatric Hospital is underway. Communities between the Laloki Bridge and the hospital facility are working together with the hospital staff and police to dig up and disconnect illegal water connections to the main pipeline. Meanwhile, hospital staff said all their complaints regarding the water issue lodged at Edaranu have fallen on deaf ears. They have now decided to take matters into their own hands because they feel their patients have suffered for too long.
Lama Rama, Senior Health Extension Officer at the Psychiatric Hospital, says the hospital has not paid water bills to Edaranu since the year 2010. They say by then the water pressure was too low to supply water to the hospital's pipelines due to the excessive number of illegal connections. When asked if Edaranu was aware of this problem or their current operations, this was what Lama had to say.
We haven't talked to the Edaranu management regarding what is actually happening because we went ahead to do this exercise by disconnecting illegal connections, because over the years we've asked them to assist us, we've complained, we have returned, we have consulted them physically, but our requests have fallen to deaf ears.
The community residents are now appealing to Edaranu to establish a supply of water to each of their houses in order to avoid future inconveniences.
So like Edaranu suppose morait them can come help me blana. Lo toko right Edaranu pulim tep bonse lo one house line lo mibla can buy Edaranu na maintain him this la wara ron sustain him living lo mibla na look out him life lo mibla.
Melissa Gaviro, National MTV News.
Turning overseas now, and in Tokyo, Japan, thousands flocked to various shrines around the city to pray for blessings for the new year. People from all walks of life, with one belief that the gods will hear their prayer, made offerings in front of shrines. Prayers varied from blessings of winning the lottery to dance improvement and even help in budgeting. Fire engulfed a 63-story skyscraper in Dubai on New Year's Eve. Thanks to swift evacuations, only minor injuries were reported. Flames shot skywards from one side of the luxury address downtown Dubai hotel and residential block, which stands across a plaza from the 160-story Burj Khalifa Tower, where people had gathered for fireworks to mark the new year. But as midnight struck, the address building continued to burn, while onlookers cheered to a mass of multicolored fireworks enveloping the Burj Khalifa. You're watching National MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. We will have the details after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Inmates at Bomana's minimum security unit have ended their festive celebrations with the finals of various sporting competitions. Jaylee Sapies has this report.
The Bomana minimum security unit came alive today as inmates ended their festive season celebrations with the internal games finals. The inmates formed 4 teams as per the number of cell blocks. Sergeant Major Damien Ayabai said the games were a success and he's very thankful for the well-behaved inmates as no problems were encountered during the competition.
It's very successful on fitness and especially rehabilitation side.
The inmates were happy with the overall outcome of the games and expressed feelings of gratitude towards the organizers, committee members and the MSU as a whole.
Kami play big part long fitness long karabus na rehabilitative mall na discipline mall na mi play talk thank you so much for the management lo making this time available na mi play talk thank you long all staff lo pla all staff want mi pla na making this time me available lo mi pla.
Cell number 1 proved to be the strongest team by winning the most number of points during the competition. The games ended on a high note with the sponsorship of goods by families of the prisoners. Jaylee Sapies, National MTV Sports.
The Taunita Tiop constituency of the autonomous region of Bougainville also celebrated the festive season with a sports tournament. The initiative is to drive peace and reconciliation efforts as well as promoting the raw talent. Locals took part in soccer and volleyball matches and ended the finals on a successful note yesterday. 2015 saw PNG boxing excel to greater heights, with many of PNG's best showing great potential to take part in bigger competitions in the world. This year, boxers will be aiming to compete in the Rio Olympic Games.
PNG boxers went through many training sessions last year in preparation for the Pacific Games.
An interesting bout this one, Paya.
With the success achieved during the Games came government support for the code. The government has also promised to send some of PNG's elite boxers to train in Cuba.
Well, look at this. Look at the clean punches. Look at that right hand. That was where it started.
Cuba is the leading amateur boxing nation in the world, with many of their fighters successful in the sport. They will be leaving early this year for training in preparation for the Olympic qualifiers in Beijing. PNG Boxing is yet to receive word from IBA and Oceania on when the women's boxing qualifiers for Rio will be held. Elijah Lavette, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. 2015 was a tough year for Hekari FC, not making the NSL Grand Final as anticipated and coming close to making the finals of the Oceania Football Championships. But the team has now set a target to make the finals of the OFC in New Zealand later this year.
Hekari United FC have been one of the most consistent sides in the NSL over the last number of years. And they have also been regular representatives at the Oceania Football Championships, even though they were in a tough pool and just missed out on the finals last year. It will be a big challenge to make the finals in the OFC in New Zealand this year, but team manager Vonnie Capinato believes that if they work together, they can make it. This year's OFC Championship will be played in Auckland and Wellington from the 9th to the 23rd of April. 12 teams will take part, and Hekari United FC is placed in Pool B with Team Wellington, Suva FA and AS Lossie. Last year's Telecom National Soccer League champions, Ley City Dwellers, will also be taking part in the Champions League and are in Pool A. Dion Kombang, National EMTV Sports.
To golf, and as Tiger Woods recently turned 40, he faces a tough challenge to make a comeback to the golfing scene when he returns to competition this year. His fans still await the day when he will be able to match the record of 18 major championship victories held by Jack Nicklaus.
Tiger Woods is among the most successful golfers of all time. He has been one of the highest paid athletes in the world for several years.
And with it, golf history. 3 straight U.S. Amateur Championships for Tiger Woods.
Woods has won 79 official PGA Tour events, including 14 majors. He is 14-1 when going into the final round of a major with at least a share of the lead. He has been heralded as the greatest closer in history by multiple golf experts. Woods has won 5 PGA Tour events in 2013, and though major silverware has eluded him since 2008, there seemed no reason why he could not add to his haul of 14 majors as long as he stayed healthy. But everything changed in 2014. Crippled by back pain that forced him out of a tournament in Florida, he underwent surgery and has never been the same since.
Ahmad,
did you hit it enough?
talk to me.
Can I
Hell of a caddy. Hell of a caddy.
Now 2 surgeries on, expectations these days about the former world #1 are much muted, whether he has what it takes to win another regular tournament. Perhaps a more realistic target for Woods than adding to his major haul is the record number of 82 PGA Tours set by Sam Snead. Woods is 3 shy of that mark. rather than chase Jack Nicklaus' record of 18 major championship victories. Dion Kombang, National MTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports for tonight. We will be back after these short messages.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to the news. Now we are unable to bring you the weather forecast, but before we go, 2016 was welcomed with praise and thanksgiving by the Catholic Bishops' Conference. General Secretary Father Victor Roche dedicated the first day of the new year to God.
On January 1 every year, the Universal Catholic Church gathers to celebrate the feast of Mary, Mother of God. Catholic teachings reveal that the Blessed Virgin Mary fulfills divine and human prophecies through her response of yes. General Secretary of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of PNG and Solomon Islands, Father Victor Roche, explains Mary's response yes of accepting God's invitation outlined in the Holy Scripture of Luke.
A person is said to be filled with the Holy Spirit, that is a prophecy or that is a word of God that is coming forth. And Elizabeth is telling Mary, saying that you are blessed among women. And this is the word that is produced, and we are repeating in Hail Mary, Mother of God.
Father Victor also clarified the Blessed Mother's life in the early church and brushed aside recent media critics.
His son could become a human being here on earth. So of all the people, among all the women, he chose Mary. Not only in the Catholic Church, and there are also some other people in some other denominations, they accept Mary as the Mother of God.
Father Victor says the Mother of God fulfilled the salvation plan, and that's why the Church recognizes her because of the Incarnation.
No Catholic adores her or worships her, and it is good that we give that honor, because that honor is very special honor that is given to Mary. And she played that role in a very humble way.
Fabian Hakalitz, National MTV News.
And that's how it is for today, the 1st of January 2016. From the MTV News team, Happy New Year.